everybody. Welcome to the Big Play Tailgate with Chuck Booms, Bob Golic. I'm Tony Zarrella. Who
It's Chuck's.
Who are you texting?
Yeah,
Marcus
thanks,
Allen
Bob.
again? Welcome to the show,
I'm not
everybody.
texting Marcus Allen.
We got a lot. And we're going to break this down. Week 9 in the NFL, coming off the win. We'll talk Jameis, play calling. Wasn't really the play calling. I think we all know that. They did this last year with a different quarterback. Now they're doing it again with Jameis. It wasn't the play calling. It was an individual.
And there you go. Thanks for coming.
That's a wrap, everybody. Hey,
It was unbelievable when they go, well, he's offensive player of the week, just like Flacco was.
Yeah,
then it was the over 300 yards passing. This, Cedric Tillman looked like Jerry Rice. I mean, all these. Flacco made David Bell look like a great receiver last year.
Hey.
So he hit on it.
Can
we say for once and for all, it's never been the play
it's
call?
not the play call.
No, it's
It was
not the
calling
play
the
call.
plays.
Much as they tried to confuse us.
Yeah.
They're banged up here.
We're
Chargers
easily
in town.
confused.
Talk about that as the Browns maybe win one more and then go into the bye week. Also ahead or behind. Your picks for the week, for this weekend, who you want to bet on. And, yeah, there's something coming up on Tuesday night, and we're going to talk about that. And do celebrity endorsements matter? I mean, I think it's absurd if you think anybody, because he dribbles a basketball, is going to tell you who to vote for president of the United States.
I know how Bob leans politically, but then when I saw Julia Roberts came out strong for Kamala Harris, I thought, I think that could affect Bob.
I refuse
Bob,
to
you
watch
swayed
her.
here? Are you,
I refuse to watch her anymore, except on Pretty Women.
I like Pretty. That's the only thing I ever liked.
Yeah, Bob
and
Golic.
Runaway Bride.
Yeah, Bob Golic. We'll get to that because we could do a whole hour on that. I just don't get it. I've never understood it. We know a lot of wonderful, intelligent people. I've never met anybody who was on the fence and they said, you know what? George Clooney said.
Oh.
And now I know who to vote for. Whoa.
And now we know that Arnold Schwarzenegger said.
And I don't care about either side.
Yeah.
I don't care that Hulk Hogan, a former wrestler, likes Trump. I don't care. If you don't do your homework, don't vote.
I was happy that Hulk Hogan was still able to rip his shirt.
It took a minute, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Then he had that little piece at the bottom that he had to kind of double clutch to pop it open. The old days he would have had it in one tear.
Bob, did you notice how still when he can still bring the guns and all that stuff? All you guys that lift the weights your whole life, if you still do it a little bit or whatever, it still stays.
It's called muscle memory, or we wear tighter clothes.
Hey, Bob Golic, Browns legend, and always on board with the team, but honest, with the Honest Show. As you know, you're honest about the failings and the chaos that was going on in terms of bad decisions. However, they're coming off the win. Jameis is the guy, barring injury, the rest of the year. Yeah. And I know you were happy to see it.
Obviously, very happy to see him win. I don't think it – I mean, if it was Deshaun Watson doing over 400 yards passing – of offense.
Well, right, but he had 334 yards passing.
Yeah. Right, and so if it was Deshaun that did it, I would have been excited. But the fact that it was Jameis Winston, in the reality of things, we knew that Deshaun wasn't getting it done, no matter how much he wanted to, and Winston got in there. And the great thing about it too, so many of the passes that Deshaun was throwing, not to be critical, but his passes
Please feel free to be critical.
I don't want to be critical. His passes were 3-yard outs, 5-yard crosses. I mean, just short things that would. It's 3rd and 7. Let's throw the ball 4 yards and
don't
see if
forget
he can
10
go
yards over his head.
And 10 yards over his head.
But
this is what Winston did. Winston started throwing
downfield, 15
down
plus.
the ball.
Down
the field.
Yep,
and
consistently.
It didn't take us 2 days
that's what he
to
does,
drive
Bob.
down the field.
He can do it. However, listen, I'm not trying to temper a victory. It's great. They won. If Kyle Hamilton picks that ball off with a minute left, they don't win.
There was a couple of those, weren't there?
Chuck, I mean, this is what you're going to get. Everyone goes back to the 33 touchdowns, 30 interceptions year 5 years ago, whenever that was for Tampa Bay. The point is, that's what you're going to get with Jameis Winston, and it can go against you too.
No doubt. And now that we've fixed for all the people who listen to 92.3 The Apologist, it's so funny now. The morning show, the afternoon show, the midday show, Suddenly, no Deshaun talk anymore. You know, the whatever the press release coming from Berea said, defend Deshaun. It's not him. It's not. It's the. Well, now we also know it wasn't the offensive line.
The one show was having a thing about Deshaun, what he has for breakfast before the game, and things like that. But obviously, it stops there.
Yeah. Well, the bottom line is that the excuses have now stopped. And now they act like they've never spoken about it. Like we knew. You ever see people that do this?
Right.
For months they're on the air and say, Nick Wilson in the afternoon, I just used to turn on for entertainment. Oh, I don't care if you want to call me an apologist. Well, I'm calling you an apologist. That's all you did every day was say, well, any of you think it's just Deshaun Watson, you're nuts. Well, guess what? Then we're all nuts, but we were all right. It was him, you idiot, and they never have to apologize. They switch gears into, you know what's funny, Nick? We all knew all along it was Deshaun, but yet never said it.
Of course, they can't say it. They can't say it. They're in the
But
Browns' pocket.
But it was Deshaun. It was Deshaun, and it was a shoddy offensive line that had injuries.
Yes.
When you're down to your fourth center, if Deshaun has lost his confidence at that point, and yet he's getting hit every time he throws the ball, that's not going to help you. We used to, in fact, I remember specifically down in the Astrodome when there was a team called the Houston Oilers. We got to Warren Moon like every play. And in the second half, we came out, and I came around the outside, pass rushing, and I see Warren staring at me. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to hit him. I'm going to get a sack. And then he threw the ball. But I was wondering, quarterbacks don't see defensive linemen. They look downfield for the receivers. We had taken Warren's brain away from him, and he was afraid of us. So he was staring at us instead of looking for receivers.
And you know what?
And I think Deshaun also got into that too, where he didn't have that feel that like Marinos used to have, guys like that.
And really, Bob, and tell me, we got to take a break, but I want to get to this point real quick. I mean, there are only a handful of quarterbacks in the NFL who are great enough to overcome the mistakes that everybody's going to make. Nobody's expecting perfection. However, when you talk about $230 million, when you talk about elite quarterbacks, the franchise guy, they're going to make mistakes. And then at that moment in the game where you need the play, whenever that is, they make the play.
Yeah.
That's what separates them from the vast majority
Or
of
you
the
take
pack.
a sack on fourth down, which is what he did, instead of throwing it with his foot into the end zone.
Yeah.
He never
We'll
made
get him
the
next play. No,
and
you
the
won't.
last thing I'll say on this entire thing is anybody who watched him from his first 6 games after the suspension, all the apologists on the radio said, well, that's rust. Then we had the next set of 6 games, right? That ends with his arm injury. That also was rust. Then it was, well, he was injured. Then we had this last 6-pack of garbage where he runs around the field. It's hut hike. The offensive linemen don't know what he's doing. He's running like it's the opening credits from the Benny Hill show. And and then they're on the radio telling all the Browns fans, it's clearly not just Deshaun. Well, after 340 yards passing and offensive player of the week, I say it was.
If you break out the garbage term again, somebody's going to pull up in a truck and they're going to start selling vests, and you know where that goes from there.
They're very slimming, I hear.
He did say that.
We'll be back on the tailgate. Back here on the Big Play Tailgate, Chargers and Tom Brown's trying to make it 2 straight, then hit the bye in style. Bob, before we get back to breaking down the matchup, and oh, by the way, these receivers who have new life now with the Browns, how was trick-or-treating at the Golic Mansion in Solon?
It was pretty nice. We only have a couple of kids in the neighborhood anymore. So we usually wait for caravans of cars to come into the neighborhood and go, hey, those guys, they give out full-size candy. And so cars pull in and kids jump out. And then at one point, we walked away from the front door and came back, and the entire bowl of crap was gone. And the bowl. So, yeah,
we live in Avon Lake. We were talking, Chuck and I were talking on the phone. I mean, we're nice. We're not Albert Bell. I mean, we're nice people and receptive. Please come. The whole neighborhood, I think the kids have outgrown it because we might have had 5 people come by.
Yeah, it's weird.
And I can tell you, Bob, I also living in Euclid, the caravans pop open, and it's kind of fun. All the kids run up and all that, and blah blah blah. But towards the end, a caravan opened up, and the kids ran out with fairly large firearms, and I had no idea that I was going to have to give away my big screen and stereo for Halloween. But
See,
again,
I told
it was
you.
in the
I
spirit
told
of
you
the
to get
holiday.
candy.
All right, Chargers come in. Chucky, stingy defenses to talk about giving things away. They don't, and you can't
don't.
score on them.
No, and
13 a game? I think
13 a game, leading the NFL. This is right up Bob's alley because Bosa and those guys up front are a handful and probably two handfuls.
He's banged up. He's questionable.
They're
Bosa with the hip.
That
But he's missed a few games.
He sees
But
Jameis and he's thinking, boy, I can up that sack total. But all through their linebacking core, their DBs, very good defense, and remember what you're dealing with now. This is a Harbaugh coach team, and so they like to create havoc and turnovers and all that. So this will be the game to test. I just get nervous every time I say it. This is the game though to test Nick Chubb's knee. This is a game where if Nick Chubb, Bob, you agree that if we could get Nick going, then that play action, that hard play action will really work for James.
Well, I do believe that last week was kind of the opening of Nick Chubb. The first day he played, we were all kind of going, "Go, Chick, go, Nick." Go, Kieran. So, we were all worried that there wasn't going to anybody who's had knee injuries. Certainly, it just felt that trepidation of is he going to get hurt again? Last week, he just pounded over people, and we need that 1-2 because the defense we're playing against, and I think he's got his confidence back physically, mentally. I think he's doing great. But you're right, for the play action pass to work and to give these guys a little bit of time to get deeper downfield and start to throw the longer passes, it's all coming together at a good time.
yeah, so we're banged up. JOK with a neck injury. Denzel with yet another concussion. There's another show that we break down what decision is impending for him.
JOK with a neck injury. He
Denzel,
wears a
the
helmet
concussion,
that
right.
has a purple mattress stapled to it.
The Guardians cap is like some people don't even know what that is, but the neck injury for him, Denzel, it's an issue here with the concussions.
6 concussion.
Their receivers are getting healthy. Talking about the Chargers, but they don't score a lot either. They score, I think, 7. They score 1 more point a game than we do, and we haven't until Jameis came in scored. Here's the thing: our receivers, Chuck, have new life. Bob, you played for a long time at a high level. You can talk about this, but clearly the Browns can downplay the effect this has or has had on the team when you're not successful and you don't believe in the quarterback anymore. Yeah. But you see these receivers, all of a sudden, Cedric Tillman, of course, for one, but Judy catching passes. They're utilized more. Elijah Moore, 8 receptions or whatever it was. All of a sudden, they have new life.
Well, how often did we see before Jameis came in, how often did we see receivers out by themselves without coverage on them and the ball got thrown somewhere else? And a lot of that is because Deshaun was getting hurried and really didn't have the confidence to do his progressions of receivers. But I think the receivers all feel like, hey, I could be the one. I could be the one to get the ball. And they're not messing around, too. They're not going to throw it out to me 2 yards upfield and then make me run through 8 people to get to the end zone. They're starting to feel like, hey, if I do my job and I run my routes right, I'm going to get a ball at 15 and my stats are going to go crazy. And of course, my Instagram pictures are going to go nuts, and Facebook, they love me, that sort of thing.
I'm just waiting for what's the original one? MySpace. Yeah, I'm waiting for MySpace.
That's going to catch on.
Just a matter of time.
I still have 3 followers. I check in every day. The receivers are feeling like they're completely unbridled now. Go ahead, do your thing. It's a shame that it happened earlier when Amari Cooper got the go route, and that made him run all the way to Buffalo. But we certainly wouldn't have wanted to have Jameis throw to Amari Cooper. But, anyone who would blame that on Deshaun, well, you don't even know what you're looking at.
Hey, wait, do they still? Is there still chat rooms on CompuServe? or AOL.
You doing the dial-ups?
We're doing,
Oh,
yeah.
You got mail.
Indy has benched Richardson and gone with your guy, Joe Flacco. Your guy. Everyone's
Your guy, my guy.
Joe Flacco.
Our
Yeah.
guy.
Now they're all mad at Sean Steichen, who's the coach of the Colts, came over, I believe, was the offensive coordinator that made Jalen Hurts into a Super Bowl quarterback. He just said, look, this guy gives us the best chance to win. I will tell you that Coach Greg Williams on Come Get Some, we talked about on Monday during our little 3 and Out segment, and he was absolutely, he called for his benching on the show.
Because he took himself out.
He took himself out of the game. This kid is
For one play.
completely out of shape.
For one play.
But, I mean, he was like, oh, I'm so tired. I mean, you can't have that because then everybody's going to say I'm tired and want out. But the reason I think this story is important, and I'm glad you have it in the show, is because, Bob, it's about time, and we'll give the radio stations a head start. In case you haven't heard of this before, guys, here's what's coming. Richardson was the 4th pick in the draft. He's basically done. Bryce Young was the 1st pick in that draft. He's basically done. So what Cleveland better get accustomed to, instead of having the guys on 92.3, the apologists, map out the Browns' playoff possibilities, I'll map them out for you. 0. What they better do is find a way to get the landing gear to jam and crash this plane and get us a high pick, because it's time you wake up, Cleveland. You are going to hopefully be at the top of the draft with a new general manager. I vote for Jason Kelsey. And somebody to pick us a quarterback, because it sure as hell ain't going to be Andrew Berry. But if we start screwing around with wins here and there, and they go, wow, they really showed heart, and now they're 7-10.
Well, that's not the...
And they're going to pick 14.
That's not
If
the...
Jason Kelsey's the GM, we got to have in the contract that he leaves his shirt on
Hey,
all
yeah.
the time.
I
Well
would do that.
said, Bob.
Thank
I don't
you.
know that those quarterbacks are done, those young quarterbacks. I mean, I know your point. They may not be done, but your point is well taken. And for the Browns to
You
middle...
remember the UCLA quarterback that was drafted, I think, 5th by the Cardinals?
Rick Neuheisel.
No, he's the coach of Colorado a long time ago.
Long time when I was out
No,
there.
do you remember the quarterback that was at UCLA?
I don't even... No, I don't remember
Of course not. Neither do I. I just asked because nobody remembers, but he would... Do you know, Ryan?
Josh Rosen.
Josh Rosen,
Oh!
who, by the way, is a hell of a CPA. Okay, let's not take that away from
Is that
Josh.
he's not Rosen and Rosen, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
actually.
It's funny. I don't... we got to take
Josh
it back.
Rosen,
I know.
highly rated. They flush out.
I know.
And what I'm saying to Cleveland is we've got to come to. If you think we're going to try to make the playoffs this year and then what? We're going to bring Jameis Winston back?
They bringing him back, Chuck. Let me save you the suspense. We got to take a break here. Ahead or behind when we continue? Back here on the Big Play Tailgate, Bob just slammed his drink down. You know what that means.
I need another one.
It means we should have practiced that transition better. It's time for the game show sweeping the nation. That's right, Bob, from San Diego, California
Hey.
to Kennebunkport, Maine, and from Seattle, Washington down to Key West, where Thunder big man Chet Holmgren and I will be trying out his favorite new position he calls the Wembanyama. It's a header behind. In honor of Halloween, Bob and Tony, I have in my hand the top 20 Halloween candies of all time. Look at them now.
I had 12 of them this
Now
morning.
they're fired up.
Then you have an edge.
Top 20
Oh,
boys.
I got an edge, all right.
Top 20 boys. Right in the middle of the list, the Three Musketeers bar. Which is down to 2, I believe now.
Right.
One of them passed.
This is such a personal thing, you know.
Three Musketeers, middle of the list. Tony, I'm going to let you go first on this one.
Since I beat your ass last time.
Yes, you did.
are Twix bars. Twix, that's the kind of cookie caramel thing, isn't it? They have right Twix and left Twix.
Yeah. Unless it's in fun size.
Okay. I don't like fun size with anything, to be honest. Three Musketeers, right in the middle of the list of the top 20 candies of all time for Halloween. Is Twix ahead or behind of the Three Musketeers?
So basically, you're asking if Twix is either top 9 of all time or not.
Yeah, we've gone over the numbers.
Behind.
Yeah, you think it's behind. And what do you think, Ryan? That's incorrect.
Comes up with these lists.
I told you.
Somebody who likes candies. Bob?
Yes, sir.
Big chance for you to jump in the lead again, which means I'm going to have to cheat for Tony later on in the game. All right, top 20 candies.
The more you can do.
Top 20 candies of all time for Halloween. Some of you probably passed these guys out for Halloween this past week. How about a nice handful of Hershey's Kisses, Bob? Hershey's Kisses.
Nice
ahead or
softball,
behind?
Bob. Nice softball.
Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, ahead.
Yeah, that's easy.
I can't believe that, because if I went to a house and somebody gave me one of those
They don't give
things,
you one.
I would. Well, if you gave me 5, they'd go through your bedroom window. I came to get a
They give you a
candy
little
bar, not a.
pack.
And if I get a Hershey's Kiss, it better be.
That's what happened when they give us apples.
17-year-old daughter.
What's the next easy question for you?
All
Want
right,
to ask
so
his wife's name?
1-0. All right, so let me give him an easy
Shoot.
one. Top 20
Karen, by the
candies
way.
of all time here for Halloween. Do you think he's getting this one? He does. He thinks you're going to get it.
Yeah, come on.
Let's give it to him. Here we go. Kit Kat.
Oh.
Is a Kit Kat ahead or behind?
This was on the Zarrella list yesterday, handing them out to all 4 people that came by. Ahead.
And sorry,
Who picks
Kit
these
Kat
I'm-
is not ahead.
I am-
Ryan was getting. I could feel his giddiness.
I'm
as I said,
stunned.
He's
Well,
looking
I
at
think-
Tony
stunned.
going, I got this. I got it. Kit Kat is behind.
There's no
That's
credibility? Isn't it
Number
like-
14. All
Where
right.
Fenway Park
have
has the
all
worst
the
fruit in Major
children
League Baseball.
gone?
When you do that, you lose not only credibility, but
The show, the game.
the viewers.
All right, Bob.
Yes, sir.
Here we go. You like to do this sometimes in the afternoon. This is the top 20
There's
Halloween
candy
candies.
named
Well, I'm getting to it.
Sleep.
I was letting you think about it for a minute. All right, Three Musketeers is right in the middle of the list of the top 20 Halloween candies of all time. They always say when you're in this zone, don't bother your dad, don't bother your mom. You're in the York Peppermint Patty zone.
Behind.
Behind. He's a genius. The guy, it's like he gets the list mailed to him. It's now 2-0. How are we doing on time? Do I have to cheat yet?
No, we still got 3 minutes.
Okay.
I mean,
All
York
right.
peppermint patty is good, but it doesn't fit.
Peppermint Patty's also the first lesbian character I ever saw on TV.
That's right.
With Charlie
That's right.
Brown. All right, here we go. Three Musketeers, Tony, in the middle of the list. Let's see if we can't get you on the board, buddy, with the Nestle's Crunch Bar.
It's ahead.
That's
It's ahead.
It is
you.
ahead. All
Finally.
right,
Finally.
Bob.
It's not a
now,
list without a
don't
Kit Kat.
get cocky here, Bob, or he'll have a chance to tie, it looks like. Again, now, if you get a pack of these, this is a nice haul. If somebody gives you one of these, then something's going to happen to their passenger side window on their car on the way out down the driveway. Top 20 candies of all time for Halloween. The Three Musketeers, there they are, right in the middle at number 10. Bob?
Yes.
Starburst Fruit Chews. If you get the whole pack, it's a nice haul. I remember also they came, do you remember this? And like a little 5-pack, like the fun size thing. But
All I know is that it's one of the most difficult candies to open.
yes.
They really,
Yeah,
they
you have
seem
to get a
like,
paring knife.
Yeah, it's like incredible. So I'm saying behind.
Yeah, that's easy. How many?
3-1.
I understand. I'm keeping score, and I
How about-
also
How
understand.
about popcorn balls?
That's nice of you to say. I appreciate it, Bob.
You're welcome.
But back
Didn't know
to the
you
game.
Didn't know you could see from there. Hey, Tony, chance to get back in it. This candy bar named after the greatest baseball
No, it's
player
not.
of all
No, it's
time.
not.
Well, they
It's-
just said it was on TV the other day.
It's not though.
Okay.
I'm going to look it up. But go ahead.
The Baby Ruth.
Right. That's a head.
Well, we're going to be cheating here soon, Bob. All right, Bob, here's a chance.
I thought the O. Henry was named after Henry.
That is.
is.
And so's the Reggie bar. I had that, the Reggie Jet.
Yeah, since Reggie's picture is on it.
All right, this is an easy one,
Okay.
Bob. This I eat. I don't give a damn what holiday it is. And once you start, you have to kill the entire bag. The problem is, like me, I have a bag the size of a suitcase in the car. And, you can just feel the sugar oozing through you. But a favorite nonetheless, Bob, are Smarties. Ahead or behind of the Three Musketeers bar?
Ahead.
All right, here we go.
Smarties.
I want a daily double.
I love Smarties.
Don't you? Now, they're easy to open, and you dump the whole haul down.
Yeah,
For-
not one at a time, the whole thing, yeah.
The record, the Baby Ruth was named after Grover Cleveland's daughter, Ruth,
Okay.
not Babe Ruth.
Do you know her on-base percentage?
Not good if she was playing the Dodgers. Go ahead.
Yeah. Nice catch by Aaron Judge, by the way. Sorry, Aaron. You have to open the mitt first. I don't know if they taught you
Get
about
one of those
that.
New York fans to open it for you
Yeah,
when they're like
yeah.
ripping it out of the.
Unbelievable.
That's his.
All right, here we
that's
go,
his
Bob.
thing.
This will win it.
No, wait, this is me.
Is it?
Yeah, it's my turn.
That's right. This
And I
is
want
to
a daily
tie it?
double. This is if it's a double.
Yeah, this is the
It's-
cheating. This is to tie, and we end in a tie again.
It's 3-1.
Right, that's why
Oh,
a double.
you got a 2-point.
All right,
Gotcha.
so here, that was easy. If
we
you
go.
thought that Smarties was the easiest, most fun thing to eat for a sugar high, not on your life, dude.
Okay.
These are the best. How about Chase the Rainbow, everybody? Skittles.
Skittles.
Ahead or behind Three Musketeers?
For the tie.
For the tie.
Behind.
He got it. It's tied. Do we have time to let Bob win?
Yeah, we can do it.
Why
Why
not?
not Bob win?
Well, you
didn't
just
think the
tied
first
it.
5 questions
He didn't mean
set
it
him up?
that way. He didn't mean it that way.
Here we go. Yeah. Oh, no, I absolutely did. I wanted to let you win.
Ever since you and
let's see.
popcorn balls get together, things have been
Bob,
different in the studio.
This is an excellent one for you. They come in the regular size box, which is fantastic. They come in the fun size. They also have them at movie theaters under a glass case, like you're sampling diamond rings for like $28 a box at the movie theater. How great are the one, the only Junior Mints? Our Junior Mints, chocolate-coated goodiness, ahead or behind of Three Musketeers? For the win.
Since I was given the York Peppermint Patty, which I thought was too upscale for a lot of the Halloweening, I will go with those, and I'll go with the mints ahead. You suck.
That is
You suck.
incorrect. Do we have time for Tony to win?
Let's squeak it out here. Come on.
Why not?
We'll
I'm
make
so
it fast.
sorry. We're out of time. What a great. All right, here we go.
Come on.
It'll make it more fun if you miss it. All right,
right.
here we go. If he can't get this, we'll have the same list next week and see if he can do better.
Okay.
For the win, Tony Zarrella, top 20 Halloween candies of all time. Three Musketeers is in the middle at 10. Is the world famous Milky Way ahead or behind? It's also a galaxy.
Exactly. Ahead.
Ryan.
That means I win.
Ryan.
That means I win because you lost.
I thought it was only me whose nipples were hard. I know Ryan's are too. And the minute he was celebrating like this, he was already. You could have got your cues from him.
Mine
He
aren't.
was sitting there going, it's behind. All right, let's go over the
Yeah,
candy trip.
please.
Number one's easy. What is it, boys?
Reese's?
Reese's.
Boom. Why did
Now,
you ask me that one?
Sour Patch, because I wanted to see a struggle
Oh,
with Milky Way.
Sour
Sour
Patch
Patch
crap.
Kids 2, Hershey's 3, the Crunch Bar 4th. This one I disagree. Nerds?
No,
No.
wrong.
What's a high chew?
It's similar to it's almost like gum. It's like sweet gum.
I can't.
I thought it was a Chinese city.
Yeah, high chew. God bless you. Snickers, of course, 7. Twix, 8. Butterfinger, 9. Musketeers was 10. There were some down there. Kit Kat, Baby
Yeah, they
Ruth,
get wrong.
Milky Way. They weren't there. And the one that ought to be outlawed, I'm not sure it's a candy corn. I don't know what what that is.
It'll
It's
jack
wax.
your sugar levels up.
Kit Kat get robbed. All right, your picks for Week 9 in the NFL when we come back. Back here on the Big Play Tailgate, it is time for Chucky's Keys to the Game.
Couldn't have said it better. And Bob, you could have said it.
Chucky's Keys
And
to the
Ryan had
game.
that music rocking, and you talked right over it. Let's get to it, boys. We'll get to the Browns in a little bit. Hosting the Chargers, as you know, the Falcons put down Baker last week. Right, the Falcons are hosting and giving 3 points to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, the problem since we all like Baker on this panel, is that they now have 2 losses against the Falcons in the division. So it's going to be tough to win the division, which means now the Bucs might have to sneak in as a wild card, even though Baker's having a great year. Not having a great year is the fat coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
He's a disgrace, really. I have no idea how they even hired him. Mike McCarthy, he's got more chins than a Chinese phone book. That was for Bob. I'm going to go with it's in the Dome.
It is in the Dome.
This is when Dallas likes to bring their worst. I'm going to take the Falcons.
I have to come on and say this. I do not own a Chinese phone book.
Thanks
so
for
I
setting
don't
the
know what he's
record
talking
straight.
about.
I would love to have a
I
Chinese
agree against the Cowboys. I won't be so vociferous about the coach, but the team really seems in disarray right now. And coming off the Buccaneer win, it's going to be Falcons easy.
Yeah,
Also, Bijan, Tony, the running game. If you can run literally your Aunt Gladys against Dallas, and she'll pick up a cool 100 yards rushing. So
She was in the Olympics.
She
in
was.
'64, I think it was.
Dallas gives up 5 yards a game on the ground per rush.
Oh.
So I'm on the worst in the NFL. I'm the Falcons here. I'm giving the points 3 to Dallas. I'm surprised Jerry Jones has let this go on as long as he has. Not that midseason firings really settle anything or answer anything. However, I'm still stunned that they've been such a mess. Or let me put it, underachievers for the goals that they set and the talent they have.
I couldn't agree more. And everybody on all the national shows loves Dak. And I will tell you this, I've never been impressed. He doesn't do anything that even resembles playoff football. And I know that they'll rank up, 12-4 or whatever it is. They have these great regular. And they got in last year to a rookie quarterback, Jordan Love, and they got boat raced at home.
Yep.
So if this is a bad loss, by the way, I believe a Dallas bye week is coming. Would not shock me if something happened.
Let's go to Baltimore here. Ravens coming off the loss to our Browns. And, the Ravens had a chance for a few interceptions in that game, especially Kyle Hamilton. They didn't make it happen. It wasn't their best day. Happy for the Browns that they beat them. I think the Ravens are better than the way they looked, or at least the Browns made them look last week. They're giving 9, Bob. 9. It's a lot in the NFL to the Denver Broncos, but the Ravens are at home.
Sorry, Tony, but I really don't think the Denver Broncos have got anything together. It's been a while. Probably since 86, 87 that they've had their
We'd rather
crap
not talk
together.
about those years.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
When you drank the
They're
airport
like
dry?
it's like a mini series. It's like remember that show that was on back in '85? It was called The Drive. Oh yeah, wasn't it a soap opera?
Well, the fumble, while we're off track here, Stapleton Airport's the old airport in Denver, and you guys had a little trouble getting out of there. And is there any alcohol left?
No, there wasn't. As the plane was taking it, the front wheel was lifting off. We had just got beaten on the fumble. And all of a sudden, he slammed into reverse the engines. The front wheel slaps down. They pulled in fire trucks all over the place. They took us back to the gate. We went inside, and it was like really quiet because it was like late night. But they opened up the bar, and guys were buying cases of beer. Not just, hey, can I get a couple of beers? We were buying cases of beer and passing them out. Me, Paul Farron, and I think it might have been Clay, went to see if there was a train station. connected to the airport.
Where were you going?
We're going to take the train home. We just figured there had to be. Well, after you drink a couple cases of beer,
I was going to say,
you're
gosh,
looking
the power of alcohol, isn't
Yeah.
it grand? Now, I heard a different story, Tony. I heard about the plane took off and then came back down, and I understood the pilot came on and said, sorry about that, guys. We're going to circle around and do it. It's Ernest Biner, could you please get off this airplane? We're headed back to Cleveland for your own safety. Would Ernest Biner please deplane?
Bob, do you give the 9? You're the Ravens. You're giving the Broncos.
I'm giving the 9.
Yeah, I am too, by the way.
Yeah.
I will take the Broncos. Bo Nix has surprisingly been doing quite well. I just think back to your Aunt Gladys. She could probably pick up 100 yards receiving in this game against Baltimore. I think
why
that the
haven't we heard
Ravens.
about her?
I don't know. She's highly underrated, Aunt Gladys. I believe the Ravens will win, but this is going to be a lot closer than you think, and maybe if Justin Tucker field goal late.
Real quick, because
Broncos in the point.
We've gone off the rails here.
Yeah.
We're not going to get to every game. We're not going to get to most of the games. Bills and Dolphins. Bills giving 6 at home. Why do I feel like, what are they doing to me with that 6-point spread? It should be larger.
Tua's back.
So what?
Well, I think that's what they're figuring on. Dolphins catching a break here, Robert. They're getting to Buffalo before the weather turns gnarly.
Right.
And so this is the kind of game. Now, I think the Bills have looked terrific, but this is the kind of game where they lay an egg at home and the Bills Mafia gets pissed just for the hell of it. And I don't know what the standings are. I'm going to take Miami.
Okay, Bob, real quick.
Remember, too, we did give them Amari Cooper, too. So that's,
Oh, crap.
I know. So Dolphins have an advantage there. No, I'm just kidding. To hurry things up, I'm going to go with Buffalo just because I've always been a Josh Allen fan, ever since we didn't draft him. But I thought he was
Browns are getting 1. Browns are underdogs on their home turf coming off the win over Baltimore. Chargers come in, and they're only 4-3. I'm taking the Browns. Again, I'm baffled by the point spread here. But
Chubb's going to set up the play action. Chubb's going to get a lot of yardage, and Jameis is going to open up the pass game because of
You're taking the Browns.
Yeah, taking the Browns.
Yeah, baffled is a good word because hearing both of your picks, I'm baffled as well.
Chargers scare you?
Yes, and Herbert is going to go off. And I know you're not a big Eccles fan. I think that the Chargers will have all the right things going. The biggest thing is going to be Jameis Winston is feeling good about himself. The fans will be having a good time. But all it takes is one good early pick to turn that place sour. And that defense, there's a reason the Chargers have only given up 13 a game. I like San Diego.
That's my biggest concern is that we didn't see any of the picks last week. But that's his reputation, and I got a feeling that there's going to be some today. But I'm still taking the Browns.
Okay, thank you. Listen, we got to talk about this. Does it really matter to you when a celebrity comes out and endorses a presidential candidate? We'll tackle that.
Well, that's why I'm here.
In a minute.
That's why Chuck's here.
The fabulous and super attractive Denise Zarrella and I separately were on the same page. If that makes sense. Separately on the same page. Went down to the Lorain County Board of Elections and voted early.
You banked your vote.
Hope you voted early. Whichever side you're on.
Vote early
Doesn't
and often.
really matter.
That's Chicago, Bob.
Oh,
The conversation, Ryan's going soon, right?
Hopefully tomorrow.
All right.
after we get done.
I am an
Explaining
election
things to
day.
him.
I am an election day only guy. I've always voted on election day, except for a couple of times at University of Kentucky where I voted absentee. It was kind of a difficult thing back then. You filled out the ballot.
Yeah, but that was
taped
for
it
the
to a
homecoming
donkey's
queen,
ass
wasn't it?
and kicked it. And hoped it
Was that for the Kentucky
But you only
homecoming
go on
queen?
election day, and I know where you're going with that. Here's the thing. When people come out, I don't care what side you're on. It doesn't matter to me. I'm dying to know. I'm dying to know if anybody is ever influenced by a celebrity coming out, as LeBron did the other night, endorsing Kamala. Fine. That's his choice. My question always is, who cares? I don't care. I don't care if you're a basketball player. I don't care if you're a movie star. I don't care if you're this or that or whatever.
Most stars used to be smart enough to not do it.
Well,
as Michael Jordan once said, Republicans buy tennis shoes too.
But the question
So they
is,
never would
why
do
do they think if Taylor Swift, and she has, comes out, and do they really think that there's a degree of people, an amount of people that are going to say, oh, whoa, well, now I got to vote for that candidate? Do they really believe that?
I think age-wise, I think when you get into certain age groups, like what do they call them now, the Zennials, when you get down to that level, I think that there's a lot of people who can be influenced by, they haven't gotten to the age yet where they realize that these people are just doing a job, and it's kind of cool to see them and maybe to get an autograph from them, like Julia Roberts. Well, no, Zennials wouldn't know Julia Roberts, but you know.
See, now Taylor Swift, by the way, she did come out for Kamala Harris, but then she's not coming out to events and doing stuff because she's got enough smart people around her to go, you're a basically country pop star.
Yeah.
And unless you don't remember the Dixie Chicks, honey, the last ones to come out and pull this
Toby
had
Keith.
their careers completely trashed. So,
But even if she doesn't go to events, why say it? What does it matter? And again, it goes back to their thing. I'm asking the question: do they think people really care who I vote for?
Yes, she definitely thinks people want to know. You know, it's the funny part. Who they haven't asked, they should ask Travis Kelce, because I have a feeling Travis and Jason would be on Team Trump. But if you're Travis and you want to fly to Buenos Aires and get a little Gucci, you better have a Kamala hat on when you see Taylor. So.
I just don't understand that way of thinking. And if you're not doing your homework,
Well,
where are you going?
I don't know, Gucci.
Charo.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no kidding. No, I think, in fact, I think it hurts a lot of them. I wish they understood that, but they're believing this whole thing about it being the most existential thing in the history of this planet, in this country. And so you got people like George Clooney and Madonna and all these people coming out and just making just threats and nastiness. And I don't know, I think there's some people, some of these celebrities that are just kind of laying back going, I better just keep my mouth shut.
Why are the Kamala people so angry? Why are they so angry? I thought their whole thing was about joy and vibes. Remember joy and vibes?
We have fun.
We have vibes in the sun. But it was all supposed to be happy. I don't know any Trump supporter. And I know a ton that and I talk to a lot at night and all that stuff. They're upbeat. They're in good moods, even if they think 2020 was a little sketcy, to say the least. But they're in a good mood, and they're thinking about this could be great for the country. The other side seems very macabre, very dark, and very upset and angry. Why?
Well, I think I can't speak for the other side. I think.
Do you notice it?
I think the entire vibe is toxic, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I can't speak for one side or the other. I've noticed that. I have noticed that when she came right out of the gate after they benched Biden, everything was about, they wanted to capitalize on, you know what, he's so negative on that side, we're going to be upbeat and positive.
He's old and she's a
they've
love
definitely
bug.
done
She's
that.
shiny and new.
But when she first came out and they made the transition, it was about joy. We were going, we're so happy now and everything's great. And then it started shifting, and now we've reached a point of Hitler and the Nazis. And
but really, I get back to, and listen, we could do a political show for an hour and then some. I get back to LeBron feeling the need to come out and say, I'm now endorsing. Who cares?
So
I don't understand it. And he did it the night after he was here.
Who was that said, shut up and dribble?
Laura Ingraham.
Laura Ingraham. That's
Laura
what it was.
Ingraham.
Yeah.
Shut up and dribble.
He did it.
He did. He waited till after the Cleveland
Save
game.
that thought. I wanted to, because there's more there than this, right?
Yeah.
And I want to talk about
and
a
then we
big
have
play.
to make predictions too.
Big play for the election.
Yeah.
Big play rolls on right after this. Lakers came into town on Wednesday night, got absolutely boat raced by the Cavaliers, but it was a good moment in more ways than one. If you're a Cavs fan, obviously at that point they'd remained unbeaten, and you get to see LeBron, and you get to see his son, and you get to
the crowd chanted for Bronny. He had not played, and the Cleveland crowd said, "We want Bronny."
And he gets into the game in the fourth quarter, I believe, right? And then he throws down his first NBA bucket.
And standing ovation, Bob, and I was talking to Tony off air. Cleveland, as you know from being a pro athlete in this town, we get such a bad rap from New York and LA, which is why I hate both coasts. That, you know, Bottlegate, you know, the Tim Couching, they throw bottles, or the latest is, they cheered when Deshaun Watson got hurt and blah, blah, blah. But I never see him report on something as, I think, as cool as Cleveland saying to LeBron and his son, who's on the court and makes his first NBA basket in Cleveland, there's nothing about how absolutely warm and just a generous moment by Cleveland fans saying to LeBron and his whole family, you know what? You're still ours. You're still from here. You left twice after you said you'd never leave again, but we still love you. We remember when Bronny was a little kid running around the arena and all that stuff. And now this great moment. Not one national media thing talked about that. What a great moment, and the Cleveland fans gave Bronny a standing.
Well, you
ovation.
said the Lakers, and that's Bob. You said the Lakers guys did.
The Lakers announcers. Thank you, John Ireland, who's a longtime buddy of mine from LA. You know John, and John said, "Leave it to Cleveland." Yeah, he said it on KBC. Yeah. He said, "Leave it to the Cleveland fans to get this right." Telling LeBron, "You're home. Your son's home. We love you."
But you're never going to get anything different from the coast, from the media, from the coast. I mean, look, from politics to sports, it's the same thing.
Yep.
If it bleeds, it leads, whether it's physical or emotional. And but you leave it to the home team to be able to recognize that, and to us and local people to realize that, you know, there's a cool side to this.
It was a great moment.
It was a great moment. And you had said to me on the phone, because we talked after CNN breathlessly rushed in with a breaking story that LeBron had endorsed Kamala, to which I replied, "Who gives a shit?" I don't care. I can't even, like, I wish there was a meter of, like, I could point to and say, you know, you care about this, and I'm down here. I don't care, and I don't understand why they feel the need to do it. You think he held it until after he came to Cleveland?
I think he did. I think had he done something like that, then you would have had a segment of the crowd in Cleveland that probably would not have been too happy. So he definitely planned it after he did it.
It's a great observation.
I always wonder, like, if when LeBron does that, and they break in on CNN and MSNBC, LeBron James endorses Kamala Harris. Is there a guy out there going, when is George Murasan going to endorse? You know,
that's what I'm dying to know.
That's what I want.
Absolutely. Please tell me. All right. I got about a minute and a half here. Somebody brought up a point on one of the national shows the other day that, you know, if you go back 20, 30 years when they just did the paper ballots, we found out it might have been 3 a.m, but they got counted and blah, blah, blah. And now here we are in the digital electronic age, and we may have to wait 2 or 3 weeks, if not more, as it goes to court, if it does, one way or the other.
But that just shows you how shady it is. When he had paper ballots and just 3 networks, we didn't even have Fox yet, and he had 3 networks, NBC, ABC, and CBS, and you had paper ballots, and they counted, and you knew by midnight, 2, 3 at the latest.
But in 2000, when we started saying, okay, is it a pregnant Chad? Is it this kind of a bubbled Chad?
Hanging Chad.
And then you're sitting there going, what the hell's a Chad? And we all learned what a Chad was for the first time. At that point, it became, well, we need something a little bit more accurate than Chad's.
Got about 30 seconds. Bob, you're on the radio every day. I'm sure this is the topic of discussion heading into Tuesday.
Yeah.
And good luck with that, because it's going to be an emotional issue, and it will continue after Tuesday.
And for those who listen to this show and don't agree with me, remember, this is a constitutional carry state.
Okay. Oh, carry Pat.
Got about 20 seconds.
That's Bob Pagan. Me and Tony have a hamburger bet. I believe that we're going to know early on. I think I'm going to make my predictions. Look for some upsets. If you early on the East Coast, see Virginia too close to call, New Hampshire too close to call. Those are hints of things to come. And then as the coast comes down, if North Carolina goes, Georgia goes, Florida goes, and all of that stuff, then I think the key is Michigan. And if Michigan goes to Trump, she only has one path. That's the blue wall.
Yeah.
And I think that there's going to be enough electoral votes in before the end of the night so that we will know early, and I think Trump will win.
All right, gentlemen, thanks for watching. See you next week on The Tailgate.